All right, welcome back to the Basketball Academy. We got a very special guest, New Hampshire Gatorade Player of the Year, two-time NCAA national champion with the UConn Huskies, Alex Karaban. Really appreciate you coming on and talking hoops with us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, just for the listeners right now, would love to just have you share a little bit of background about yourself and kind of your hoops journey into where you are now.
Hoops journey. I mean, shoot, I was probably always the tallest kid growing up, and I grew up in a small town south of Massachusetts where really there's no hoopers at all, to be honest. Like no one real great just comes out of that area. And I was always the tallest, so it just always felt natural for me to play basketball. And I think over time, I'd always had fun. Algonquin, my public school, transferred over to New Hampton my sophomore and junior year. And then finished off my senior year for half a year at IMG. The other half, I redshirted early at UConn, and I spent my last 2 years at UConn now, heading into my redshirt junior year, which super stoked about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then AK with that, like, what do you think that redshirt year did for you? I know a lot of players when they get into the college level, they think that redshirt year is maybe a year to reflect, to get stronger, to get faster, to break down film. What do you think you added to your bag with that extra redshirt year?
Everything. It was the most important time I felt like for myself. And I think if I didn't do that redshirt year, then I wouldn't be able to have as much success or play as much as I did my freshman year. So really, I mean, I got in around like 230 weight wise, dropped down to 205, which was great, but then built it back up to 220, 225. So really first it was the weight room, just changing my body, just getting out that high school body and, trying to fill it up into more college standpoint. And then really just understanding how coach really operates. I mean, he's he's a great coach. He's super intense. And I mean, you guys see it. I mean, you guys know what he is like. So you see it on the sidelines. And that's something, that takes time. It's hard for a freshman right away. So being able to get over those freshman hurdles early so that I'm ready for my actual freshman season, it was the most valuable time I needed.
Yeah, and with that too, I'd like to talk about your softball swing. Looks pretty solid, not gonna lie. But you guys do some great stuff culturally, like where you draft and make two separate teams. You guys play a competitive game. Where do you think that culture stuff kind of flows into how you guys become a unit team wise?
Yeah, I mean, we always just try to do team bonding stuff no matter what. And we love doing team bonding stuff that's competitive. Like the softball game, we did an escape room 1-2 where like two different teams who see who escapes fastest. Bowling's a big one too. So really anything competitive we try to do. And I mean, we can't just be playing basketball all the time. You got to find other ways to grow as a team. And, the coaches do a great job of that. And, us players too, we find stuff of our own too.
Mm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, do you guys do this with the coaches as well? Like, are the coaches getting involved in the escape room and softball games, or is that just players on players? Or
The softball is big time. That's the coaches. Coaches
okay,
take that like seriously. So like Coach Hurley, whatever team he's on, he's coaching it up as if it's like an actual game. Everyone takes it seriously. You're practicing your swings. You're going to the hitting range the day before, warming up there. So that one's seriously. The escape room is just players, and then bowling. Bowling sometimes is just players, and sometimes it's coaches too that chip in and do their trash talking too. But it's real like Coach Hurley. He'll still speak his mind and being like, he tells me all the time I suck at softball. So like he's just still being honest with you.
it's awesome. And with Hurley and with you guys have so much talent the last 2 years, and just watching you play, you just do a great job of starring in your role. And how have you just taken that ownership? I know it's really hard for players to really realize like, hey, this is a role I'm going to play, but I think you found ways to exploit that and then really create advantages for yourself.
Yeah, I think really that's just everyone on this team just finds their role and just does whatever it takes to win. I mean it pays off no matter what. And we trust the coaches have so much that they help us identify our roles and we just got to maximize it. And they put everyone in the best positions possible to showcase yourself. And we've realized as a team too, if the team starts winning, everyone's going to get noticed and everyone's going to eventually get what they want. So, if you got to sacrifice some parts of your game to help the team win and get noticed more, then that's what we got to do. When I think for myself, I think I've done a great job of that the past 2 years, just playing within my role. And really, I think it's just helped me elevate and helped me elevate my name there out to the college world as well. But I mean, you see guys like Steph Castle, I mean,
Mm.
5-star out of high school, limited role, and like sacrifice so much of his game and then ends up being the number 4 pick. Same with Donovan too. So really, I mean, it truly pays off. And, those guys got exactly what they wanted, coming out of college too.
Yeah, and with that too, I think a pivot here is you guys are obviously phenomenal offensively, and I think offense is the application of skill in space. And what Dan and specifically Luke have done by taking European actions and putting them in the college game hasn't been seen in a long time. How are you guys at practice able to get on the same page and run those actions so quickly, and how one flows into the next?
It takes a lot of practice. I mean, it's like you got to memorize as many spots as possible. And we're doing like dummy 5s, dummy 4s, dummy 3s. We're doing that every day. And like it just becomes automatic for us, just the amount of repetition that we do. And, sometimes, sometimes during the Final Four, we're still messing up the plays. Like, it takes a while to truly understand it. And, right now, that's what our group's trying to do right now is just fully understand every concept and, we're doing sometimes workouts too outside of the practice too, just as a team to make sure guys understand all the terminology and, coaches continue to add terminology every day. So really it's tough in the beginning, but with so much repetition, so much practice and so much dummy offense that we do that, I mean, it's pretty much every day. So eventually you get it knocked down, but still, I mean, it's the best offense in the country for a reason.
It's not even close. And I think to build on that, there's a certain action. A lot of NBA teams call it rifle, or some teams call it grenade. But when it's thrown to Klingon in the corner, and then they'll run. Last year, it'd be Cam off of you setting a pin at the elbow. But like there were multiple times in the tourney against Purdue, against Northwestern, where you had known, Cam's defender has helped, so you'll be wide open on the back door, and you have a wide open dunk at the rim. How quickly do you recognize your defender has to help so that you will now be open? Like, how quickly does that you and Kling and get on the same page with that? Because that's hard to do.
It's right away. It's right away because we've done it. We've practiced that so much in practice that it's like right away. You could tell. It's so easy for me to tell too. Just teams love doing the point switching. When you see your man, when my man's pointing, I'm slipping. Like his man, so the other Cam's man was so far behind, or teams yelling switch, switch, switch. You just try to slip or ghost, or really try to do anything to create non-contact to prevent the team from actually switching, contact switching. So really you just try to look at the body language or you just try to hear the other team. And, sometimes you be hearing the head coaches too yell switch or not switch too. So, that just helps me. And then I'll tell the rest of the team too, like what the other guys are doing. So really you just look at the body language, what the team's doing, and they're pointing, point switching, and that's the perfect time to slip. And Donovan, he's such a great passer too, to where he realizes that and he's always looking for the cutters first.
That's incredible.
That is so high level. Like, again, that's, I think, preparing you for the NBA. And I know you had a huge decision to make as far as this year. Like, you were going to go and then you came back. And I'm sure all UConn Nation is really happy that you're back. Can you take us like through that whole process? Like, right after the tournament, you guys won another championship and you had a big decision to make. Do I go to the NBA? Do I come back?
Yeah, it was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make just because I was less than a month away from hearing my name get drafted on draft night. Like I was so close to finally accomplishing, my little kid's dream and just finally being there. But realizing in the back of my head, I had that gut feeling. I felt like I needed another year. I felt like I didn't shoot the ball as well as I wanted to during the March Madness run. I felt like I wasn't as efficient as I needed to be. And I felt like I still had more things to prove. I feel like I've proved myself, playing as a perfect role player, which I believe could happen in the future in the NBA. But I feel like I still need to prove myself defensively. I felt like I still need to prove myself, moving on the shooting on the move instead of just always being a catch and shoot guy and, just continuing to play make too. And I felt like there's so much more for my game to showcase. And I felt like there's so much more for myself to get better at. So I think another year will be worth it for me and truly realize the NBA teams that this is how efficient I am. This is how I could really help a team out with the role standpoint. And I mean, the last 2 years I've played my role perfectly and we won championships. So that's never going to change at the next level.
And that was a package deal for you and Hurley to come back, right?
Exactly. I knew it for sure he was coming back.
Yeah.
I had no idea at all. I was stressing those entire 5 days. I was like, damn, I came back and coach my leave. Like I had what to
That
do.
guarantees you to go to the Lakers though if you sign. So yeah.
Maybe we never got to that point yet.
Yeah.
So who knows what would have happened?
But to be honest, AK, I think like lucky enough, I've been around the pre-draft the last few years, and we've had a lot of guys come through our program. And I think if you're 6'8" frame and ability to shoot off of ghosts and off of DHOs and off of the handle, like you're a dream. But then also your ability to understand conceptual offense is going to do wonders for you from a leadership standpoint. Now that you've had like a third wave of guys come in, what burden have you taken on as a leader, being the standard for those new guys to try to get a third ring?
Yeah. Usually I'm always the shy and quiet guy. So earlier, like my last year and like freshman year, I was more of a lead by example type of guy. And, just always trying to be the hardest worker in the gym, always trying to set the example in the weight room. But now it's turned more into my voice. That's something I've had to work on. That's another reason why I came back too, is just, just using my voice more, just not being shy with what I see out there. And that's something that the coaches are on my ass about this year, is just making sure guys are on top of their stuff. And that's something I still need to continue to work on. But being a leader and just from all the experiences I've had the last 2 years, that, not in a cocky way, but my voice is respected. And that's what I need to realize. And that's something I've realized out there on the court too. And, I'm excited because the guys listen, especially this year's group, the guys listen, they're determined to work hard. And, it just gets me more energetic and more life to where these guys really want to listen to me and they trust my voice.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like past 2 years, like how have you seen Hurley and the coaching staff like change at all, if they have even like because the standard just like, keeps raising, I would assume, or you guys have no, this is the standard we have to get here each and every year.
The standard keeps raising every year. We have goals on our team locker room that we set, and my freshman year, I want to say it was be like a top 4 seed, win win like 5 championships or something, and like just eventually win the Natty. And then last year it was being top 3 seed, like trying to like level up the seeds, and then we finally won all 5 championships last year. And now this year you got to be a top 2 seed, win five win 5 championships again. But those are just the team goals. But coaching wise, I mean, I never knew there's more levels to Coach Hurley than like there is. And like he's on a whole nother level this year too. Like, he truly does not care. Obviously he cares, but he truly does not care about the 2 championships right now. Like he's so dialed in on winning this third one. And you see it out there on the court that just he's so much more intense this past summer. He's so much more intense right now. And, it just shows his desire to really win another one.
Hmm. And with that too, do you mind talking about practice? I think from an outsider's perspective, there are a couple of things you guys do so well. One, it's so competitive, like it is, and then the energy is probably unbelievable. Do you mind talking to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I mean, you got to have the players care more than the coaches. And the coaches, obviously, the coaches staff brings tremendous energy and competitive juice every day. But, at the end of the day, it's on us players, and we got to set the tone every day, too. And some days we do that, some days we don't. And when we don't, the coaches tell us, and then we really get to that level. But really, it's just fun being out there. I mean, we just love competing, every single guy in that, locker room. And the coaches, they design practice so well to where you're uncomfortable, but at the same time, you're just having so much fun out there. You're just pretty much our practice, we're just playing all the time. And that's just all you want as a basketball player, is just compete against your teammates. And then, we create that bond so well. So then when we get out on the games, like, oh, I can't curse. Oh, wow. Like I finally could play against someone else and kill somebody else instead of getting killed in practice every day. So it's really just the best type of environment that you could truly be in.
Yeah. So as far as like you said, like you want to work on more your catch and shooting in defense, like how have you like this offseason really dialed in that to make sure that you are an efficient shooter from even NBA range now and you can guard 1 through 4? What have you done in this last 4 to 5 months to get you there?
My conditioning, I say just really changing my drills. I felt like I'm such a good drill shooter to where if I get in a rhythm, it really, kind of like tricks my mind away. Like you're such a great shooter, but instead of doing like, sprinting or, movement shots, just really trying to be in the best shape possible. I think that's the first thing. And then I think in the weight room, just doing more lateral stuff, more jump rope, more, angle type ways too. Because I'm not the quickest guy out there, just trying to understand angles and watch, different defenders of how they guard. And I think going back to the shooting thing too, I think another reason why I did come back was just like my mindset towards shooting. It's where a couple times last year I'd miss 2, 3 shots in a row and really just start feeling deflated. And now this year I've developed that mindset to where 2, 3 shots I miss in a row, like I'm firing the fourth one no matter what. So because that's going to be important for the next level too. You can't get discouraged as a shooter. So really just trying to be in the best shape possible and just pushing myself and doing way more movement shots and shots off the move this year than catch and shoots.
Hmm.
And with that, as far as like when you're training, like a lot of our listeners are players as well, and everyone asks about like shooting, and then you just hit it on the mental aspect. As far as like working out on your shot, do you recommend like a lot of on air shots, or like no, I need to be more guided where, or I have to make a decision in a shot rather than just like block training and shooting 10 shots in a row?
Yeah, I do a more decision type making, just really just trying to see I'd say footwork wise and decision making, just trying to like I'll have one of our GAs just purposely pass it like awkwardly or in weird ways to where either if I'm off balance, I gotta shoot it, or sometimes I'll have managers just close out really hard and just play off a shot fake or something. So really just trying to read a manager or GA and for the GA to put me in such weird footwork positions, just don't let it fly.
Hmm. Shout out to the GAs, the real heroes, man.
They
They get scored
are.
on a lot. They get scored on a lot, but they don't get the recognition.
They don't get the recognition at all. They deserve way more.
For sure. As a former GA, I appreciate that. And then with that too, what component, like a lot of great players as they move their way into the draft, find players they play like at the next level and kind of watch them ruthlessly. Is there anyone who has piqued your interest offensively, defensively, who has a similar size and skill set to yourself?
Yeah, Kevin Love back in the day was always someone that people compared me to, and I think that's someone I'll continue to watch.
Mm.
Bojan Bogdanovic recently, I've started watching more of him.
Ooh.
And then the coaching staff, ever since I came here, they want me to watch Jaime Jaquez, and that's someone I've been watching recently too. It's the shooting and like I would say I won't say more so the shooting, I'd say more so like just for him, the ability for him to get to the rim, how he is defensively, and just how he plays off his jabs and shot fakes is something that coaches really want me to develop. So I'd really say those three players kind of mix as one, just try to learn different stuff from them, and then obviously the coaches bring out the toughness in you. Watching the playoffs, Josh Hart's toughness is something you could always just add to yourself.
That Jaime one's a great one. His footwork is phenomenal, and especially
Yeah.
when he gets inside the painted area, he's so patient. And I mean, you're similar size. Your hair is just not the same, but it is what it is, man.
I wish I had that hair.
Flow,
The nice little flowy guy.
for sure, man.
Yeah, Alex, we like to ask all of our guests this question. You're just going to complete it. It's I am at my best when I am blank. And this could be basketball, this could be your life, whatever.
I am at my best when I'm in uncomfortable positions. And I think that speaks to what our culture here is at UConn and how Coach Hurley operates. And I mean, every day I'm extremely uncomfortable here. And like, I felt like, I'd have a good day in practice and like coach would bring you back down and be like, you're still not like satisfied with what you did. And
Mm.
that's truly what's made me so much better player and just how he's pushed me every day, how the GA I work out with every day pushes me every day. And really, it's just, you always get that feeling of being uncomfortable. And, I think I truly won't be at my best if I'm not if I'm not uncomfortable. And I've truly grown so much as a player too, whether that was in high school too, just always transferring up another level just to play against more talented guys, just to make me uncomfortable. And
Mm.
obviously coach and staff too. And yeah, I mean that's truly where I am the best and how I've gotten so much better from it.
Beautiful. I guess
Awesome.
my last question is I'm an offensive junkie. Defensively, I'm what they call a cone. Can't stop anything. I love it. Is there
Yeah.
any actions that you like right now, whether that's you ghosting to your dominant side, whether that's you catching the ball for DHO or in touch action, some sort of action that you really like right now that suits your style of play?
I'd say the ghost. I've been ghosting the past 2 years, and it's just been great for me. And really cutting, slipping, those things are fun to me. I mean, it's so simple, and it's just such easy ways to score. Is the defense they either don't talk or communicate or whatever they're not doing. So that
Mm.
type of stuff. But right now, it's been a lot of pins and ball screens. Just trying to get more comfortable with that. The pins I love, but the
Yeah.
ball screens I got to get way better at. And the coaches are throwing me in ball screens every day, just pushing it, getting the rebound, just pushing it. Don't even look for an outlet. Then coming to set a drag ball screen for me too. So really, it's a whole different style of offense I'm playing right now for myself compared to last year, and I love it. And it's only gotten me better.
Yeah. I mean, with your size and drags, like you're killing drags, being 6'8" and being able to shoot like that. Yeah, that's deadly. Sweet, man.
Yeah, I guess one more question for you is like, you got any Hurley stories that you're allowed to say online? If not, we can move on.
Oh my goodness. There was this one was last year. I always found it hilarious. We scrimmaged Virginia and I shot 5 of 10 from three. We didn't play well in the second half. I get ripped in the locker room. He's yelling at me. He's like, Alex, you thought 5 of 10 was good from three? You should have made 7 out of 10. Like you thought 5 of 10 was good. You gotta make 7 out of 10 threes. You had two other looks you should have made. You gotta be 70% when you're out there. Like 50% isn't good enough from three. And I'm like, damn, I thought 50% was good. But that was one of them for me. Shoots. I mean, there's so many different stories. Just the intensity that he has, just him sending us up the stairs every day. He's running the hills with us recently in conditioning. So really, he was up at 7 a.m. running the hills with us. So really, he's not letting us be out there by ourselves. And it's just all the sayings he says too during practice. Like he's cussing everyone now. And like I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about managers. I'm talking about the scoreboard keeper. I'm talking about anybody that is in the facility during practice. He will cuss you out. He'll get. There was one too. We had such a bad practice. He just laid down in the middle of the court. He had his son drag him in the middle of the court, like just dragged him around the court one time. I was like, what is going on? This is like a couple days before we played, but those are a few of them. I don't know how much more I'm allowed to say for him.
Oh, that's great. I was listening to him in an interview the other day. I think it might have been an ESPN interview, but he has to have things a certain way. I'll say this as correct as I can, but he'll have to have his coffee at an exact time. He has to have food delivered to him at an exact time. I think as coaches, like those things are phenomenal, man. It is what it is.
Pizza like that's his routine. I don't know if it's routine at this point or superstitious with him. I'm not sure, but shoot, it's working for him. So we're gonna let him keep giving him his food at that time then.
100%.
It's
Keep
pretty
letting
amazing.
let the big dog eat, man.
Let the dog eat.
Pretty incredible. Like you're smiling through this and laughing. Like you see coaches being too tough, and that's like you can't do that anymore. But the fact that you guys are able to strike the balance between both of those and still have a great culture is really special, and it shows on the court.
No, it is. I mean, he's tough on us on the court for sure, but we know that he just wants to see us be so much better and he just wants the best for us. And I mean, the relationship that we have off the court is special. I mean, any problem I have in life, any question I have, I know I could ask him or any of the coaches. And, he pushes us on the court, but he pushes us off the court too. And he's changed my life off the court too, to where he's introduced meditation to me, which is something I do before games now. He's made me read way more now. We got summer book clubs, we got speakers coming in all the time. So really, he's just trying to change our lives so much. And he's not the biggest fan of social media or technology too. So he's really just trying to make us continue to read, continue to think, just continue to do different stuff outside of basketball and outside of social media. And that's exactly what you want out of a coach, someone who's not going to just push you in basketball and just make you a better person.
Well, Alex, again, appreciate you coming on. Again, like we wish best of luck to you this season. Where can people find you as far as like social media, or if they want to follow you?
Yeah, Twitter, it's just Alex Karaban, and on Instagram, it's Alex Karaban _.
Yeah, appreciate your time, man. And Eric Dixon is my guy at Villanova. Please take it easy on him. I mean, make him go right. That's fine, but like, don't kill him too bad because he's a really nice dude, man.
I think he's got to take it easy on us too. He's been a problem in the Big East these last couple of years, so he'll do just fine at Villanova too.
For sure. Well, appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great one. See you, bud.